When we talk about privacy, we're referring to a culturally specific concept that is really about your responsibility to protect a participant from any behavior or activities that could be considered intrusive. For any research using human participants, we need to pay attention to steps to ensure protection of privacy, the risk of identifying participants, and any potential harm that disclosure of personal information may cause them or the groups they belong to. You will likely have access to a wide range of confidential information related to the subject's personal information, medical history, and the research studies being performed using biospecimens and/or data. That is a lot of personal information, and you are responsible for keeping it private and confidential. Any medical information you collect or have access to is protected under federal and regional privacy laws and under the terms of the consent process. A confidentiality disclosure agreement, or CDA, should be signed by all personnel involved in your biobanking to ensure that they understand that the personal and sensitive information they encounter is confidential and should be protected. Such information should only be released under specified conditions and appropriate approvals. Privacy can be breached at various stages of the biobanking process, including the initial collection of information, during the use and analysis of this information in addressing research questions, for example, a participant's family history of heart disease, during updates to clinical information associated with stored biospecimens, and during the storage and retention of information and dissemination of findings, or the disposal of records or devices on which information is stored. The first step to ensure privacy is protected is to limit the ways that the participant can be identified. This can be done by anonymizing or de-identifying the data once it is collected and when it is stored. Nowadays, with the advances in genetic analysis, biospecimens may not be considered fully anonymous, even if personal identifiers have been removed, because they contain the participant's genetic material. It is possible to use genetic markers to identify the participant, or at least to link the pattern of these markers to another source where the individual may be identifiable. But in these instances, you'll need to follow practices that make the risk of identification a minimal risk.